So Barry, we've just concluded the Leaders in Private Markets Summit 2025, and we had a fascinating panel on the next frontier of private capital and private markets. What were your key takeaways about that panel session?
Thanks. So, first of all, I thought it was a great panel. So, thank you, and thank you, Aztec, for hosting this. But I would say some of the key takeaways were, everyone's in it together. The private markets are poised for even more growth. I think a lot, just like we at Neuberger are focused, a lot of our peers are focused on the expansion into the retail and high net worth area, and that's changing the dynamic of the whole landscape.
Yeah.
Right.
And actually, that also came through in some of the polling insofar as the retail alts being a real sort of gold mine or the future horizon that people are targeting. But it also struck me that within that opportunity, there are going to be some operational challenges of how do you cope with that increased volume of investors and the type of structuring that's going to come with it. And what are your reflections on that?
No, I think that's right. But we do look at that as an opportunity, right? It's an untapped market. Those investors haven't historically had the ability to access the private markets. And now this, democratization of private equity or alternative space gives them that opportunity. And we, the asset managers in the space, have to ensure that we have the technology to do that seamlessly for them. We're very focused at Neuberger on the client experience.
Yep.
And we're spending a lot of time, whether it's AI or looking at other technology tools, how do we make it more seamless, particularly not only for the institutional investors, but for the retail investors, as we, embark on relationships with new platforms, et cetera. And really the new generation of investors, right? We're about to embark on the largest wealth transfer across generations in history.
Yeah.
The new generation is used to the technology, right? That's what they grew up with.
Yeah.
So we're trying to, make sure we have streamlined technology so they can access the investment platform as well.
Absolutely. I think the other reflection I take from that, and it was quite fascinating just listening to Barry, Knapp, and Michelle talk about the macroeconomic picture, and particularly how the current administration is looking to deregulate and to bring the banks in perhaps as a result of that. One of the questions which came into the room by the audience was around sort of how large organizations such as Neuberger Berman contend with having sort of businesses that have grown rapidly over a number of years and operationally carrying lots of systems where some of them don't talk to each other, as an example. And listening to that, what were your reflections insofar as sort of some of the challenges you're having to navigate as you future-proof your organization for the next stage of growth?
I think all alternative managers have that systems challenge. So it's about how to streamline internally so we can get the source of data and the source of the truth in one place, and then access it through tools like AI. And again, we talked about how that's going to continue to evolve. But it's also streamlining tools for the investor, right?
Got it.
Rather than historical manual paperwork, signing agreements, et cetera. Less so on the institutional side, even though, even a number of years back in private equity when they started the platforms for electronic diligence and electronic diligence rooms. That was novel back then.
Yeah.
Now you wouldn't think about it. So we're trying to get to what is that next innovation and how do we help the investors?